This versus this. This is a fabric container. This is a plastic container. So what's the big difference between the two anyways? And why is it so important? In today's video, we're going to explain to you why using a fabric container might be the best option that you have for growing a container garden. If you look inside this container right here, you probably notice that it's hard. That's right, it's a hard, solid container. And nothing can permeate it. Nothing can go through it. In fact, no water can go through, no sunlight can go through, but you know what can go through it? Heat. These things get hot. The reason is, look at the color, black. Black absorbs heat. Thereby cooking your plant roots as well. It's not a good thing either. Now here's something else. As the plant roots grows, what's going to happen is that the plant roots are going to be growing out to the side. They're going to hit this barrier here. But it doesn't stop there. It gets worse. And what happens? They start to grow around and around. You see what I'm saying? They're basically looking for a more hospitable place, you know, and also where they can find food and such. So all these roots are doing is doing what we would call insanity growth. Well, that's a term that I've pretty much made up myself, but insanity growth, what I would say is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. But this is not good for the plant because it comes into a condition we would call root bound. Now, root bound means that this plant has grown so many roots and everything around and around and around itself. If you put it into the ground, this plant pretty much is gonna be serious threat of dying. And also the plant is pretty stressed as well. So this is not going to do very, very well for it too when you put it in the ground as well. Trust me, I've done it myself and I killed many of plants this way. But as me as a container gardener, is there another alternative that we can do to help with these plants right here instead of, you know, getting themselves root bound inside of these type of containers here? I think there is. Meet the fabric container. This right here is not exactly what we would call a smart pot, and shout out to Smart Parts as well because they do make excellent quality fabric containers. Now, why is this right here such a good idea? I'll tell you why. Fabric containers actually have, well, it's fabric. And what can go through it? Air. And also it can evaporative cool. Now evaporative cooling is, as this pot right here gives off moisture and such too, right? It's taking heat away with it. So in that case, this right here runs a lot cooler than your plastic counterparts. And also another thing of this right here is, as the roots grow towards the edge of this pot here, it hits air. And what happens when it hits air? There's something called air pruning, meaning once the roots hit the air, they will do something unique. Once that main root grows all the way to the edge of this fabric container, it stops. But not only does it stop, but it sends out what is called lateral roots, side roots. And these side roots grow out sideways. So you have a more vast, more efficient root system in a fabric container versus a root-bound plant in a plastic container, which is why I use these exclusively when it comes to me growing my plants. If you want to know more about container gardening, hydroponics, seawater, and I also use seawater as a fertilizer as well too. So if you want to know more about that right there too, please like and subscribe to this channel as well. I'm John Jr. Thank you very much for visiting my channel. God bless and have a blessed day. Take care now.